because I live in Shonan, is a very serious tsunami risk.
Tsunami risk, yeah. Hi there! アーサーです。この会話のパート2をご覧いただきありがとうございます。これはパート1の続きなので、ぜひ前半も見てくださいね。応援しています。You can check out that video by clicking here, or it's in the link below this video.
Something that I have to experience now, because I live in Shonan, is a very serious tsunami risk.
Tsunami risk, yeah.
Like my area is like 100%, like if a big tsunami comes, like everywhere around me is going to be underwater. Because I live like not even half a kilometer from the coast. Dude. Right. I'm probably maybe 25 or 30% of a kilometer. Right. Luckily, I'm on the 5th floor, so if a tsunami did come, like, if I'm in my apartment, I'm probably safe, but I'm stuck.
Yeah, right, because the power will shut off and you'll be stuck.
So I'll probably be sharing my apartment with the residents of the floors below me.
Yeah.
But I'm more or less safe. But one thing that I think is really cool is if you go to the beach, just how many like sensors and alarms and stuff there is like at the beach.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look out in the horizon, you'll see like there's these little sensor towers that are up on like little small rock islands. You'll see warning systems like everywhere on the beach. They're super close. They're easy to notice. There's signs everywhere on the beach. There's even some like high-rise areas that are like, hey, this is not an ideal spot, but if there's a tsunami here, just go to this spot and probably you'll be okay.
Yeah.
You know? So like it's really cool just how much like safety there is here, because like you know, I don't want to throw other countries under the bus, but like you hear of like natural disasters in other countries in Asia, like tsunamis happening. I had a friend, or actually he's a coworker, who experienced a huge tsunami in Thailand.
Okay.
I want to say it was like, I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago, but apparently like tens of thousands of people died from the tsunami. And he was explaining to me how it was a really weird sensation because like the earthquake that caused this tsunami wasn't on the land. So they didn't feel an earthquake, right? And he remembered it being really quiet, and then all of a sudden he just heard screaming. And so he like ran outside he was staying in an apartment at the time. He ran outside his apartment, and this is, I forget where in Thailand this was, but it was somewhere on the coast, right? And it's in this resort town. And he was on like the 6th floor of his apartment, and the water was up to like the 3rd floor.
Wow.
And he remembered, because like he went out to the balcony like a few minutes ago, and the streets were swarming with people. And he looked down the streets after the water came, and there's no one there.
Yeah, right.
And so, you know, it's kind of presumed that a lot of them got washed out to sea and stuff, right? But he was just explaining how like there was just no warning at all. It just came and just surprised everybody.
Yeah.
And so it's like hearing about that, it's like I feel really lucky to be in a country where we do have warnings. It's like you could be anywhere in Japan, and I guarantee you there is a 0% chance that you won't have a warning that a tsunami is coming.
Yeah.
Like as soon as they detect it, that area is going to be notified, and they're going to be trying to get people out of that area.
Well, what's amazing about the notification is like they have access to your cell phones. Like you've gotten that whoop, 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 right?
Yeah.
And so like in the States, that would be considered like an invasion of privacy or whatever. But like it's weird because I took my American-made phone to Japan, and then I just get this super, super loud earthquake warning.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it was just like, it woke me up in the middle of the night. It was terrifying because it was so loud, but it woke me up right before an earthquake happened so I could prepare with my kids, you know?
Yeah.
And like it's, the notification system here is so developed. It's kind of amazing how detailed it is.
Yeah.
You know?
I will say regarding those phones, they're obnoxious.
Yes.
But they should be.
Yes.
It's an alarm. so it should be annoying.
Yeah.
But one thing that I think that they could improve on, if you earthquake people are watching our channel for some reason.
Yeah, the Japanese government, listen up.
So you are a person who speaks Japanese.
Yes.
I'm a person who speaks a fair amount of Japanese.
Yeah.
I would say I'm like conversationally fluent, right? I know a lot of foreigners here who don't speak any Japanese at all, right? And I don't know if you've looked at the messages they send, but it's this giant wall of text all in Japanese, right? And I think if there's one space that they could improve on, it's making it a little bit universally friendly for people. Like, you know, if you do have tourists here, if you do have foreigners here who are visiting and they get this message alert, that they can, maybe there's like some pictures or something that can help them like understand why their phone's beeping.
Well, so
you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I remember like one time, maybe, I don't know, last year or something, there was a pretty large earthquake where they had like a boop, 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 jishin desu, boop, 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 jishin desu, right? So they have someone saying that, oh, there's jishin desu, right?
Yeah.
So you could just say, jishin desu, earthquake.
Yeah,
boop, boop,
or something like that, right?
Earthquake, right?
Yeah,
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because like, so that's another thing that's kind of interesting, you know? So like, there's so many announcements in the Japanese subway.
Yeah.
That it almost sounds like there's almost always an emergency because like in the States,
it's true.
Like you only really get the conductor talking when there's an emergency, right?
Yeah.
And so you don't really know what to listen to, but like if you could just have like an English announcement with it, you know, that would make things a lot easier.
Yeah. No, it is true. Like you'll get something where it's like, I'll tell you what happens pretty commonly on the Tokaido line. That's the train line I take. Is the emergency brake gets pulled.
Oh, really? Okay.
Not because there's an emergency, but because there are so many trains on the Tokaido line that sometimes they have to pull the emergency brake because the train in front of them hasn't left the station yet.
Oh, really?
Right? So
the conductor doesn't just put on the brake, you have to pull the emergency brake?
Well, it'll be like something where like the train gets delayed, so they have to pull the emergency brake to make sure that they have enough stopping time before they hit the next station.
Oh, I see.
So it happens probably when I'm riding the train maybe twice a week.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
It's common enough to notice it. And they'll make an announcement on the train and be like, the emergency brake has been pulled. Please brace yourself and prepare to stop. And so it's like the mentality of it's like, oh my God, we're going to impact with something. Just hold on for dear life. And then like you'll get an announcement from like the conductor be like, yeah, sorry guys, we're going to have to wait for a second. And, you know, when the train in front of us moves, we'll move.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I don't know, the adrenaline that gets pumped because of that announcement. I'm kind of used to it now, but I feel like people are experiencing the area for the first time. Maybe not even tourists, but just people from other places in Japan will be like, what is going on? Are we going to crash?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because it sounds pretty serious when it's your first time. It's kind of like that first earthquake that I experienced is probably like on the Richter scale was like a 2 or a 3. It was like really small, but I thought the whole world was going to crash down because it was my first one. No. Yeah. So, but yeah, just like I like the fact that there's so much notifications for like a serious earthquake and stuff or some sort of disaster. Like when in 2019 when the Tama River was about to overflow, I got a lot of notifications on my phone about that, which was great. In the end, we were safe, but better be safe than sorry, you know?
Yeah, that was scary, man. I went through.
Oh,
that
you were on
also.
that too?
Yeah, well, because I lived in Magome, which is it's in Otaku, so it's like the north side of the Tama River. It was far enough away that we didn't have to evacuate because I was on it's a really hilly area and I was on top of the hill. But we were literally the next place on the evacuation list, but like it reached its peak right before it.
I see.
So we were good.
Well, we actually evacuated to the local middle school. I remember we got futons and we slept there for the night. And then I woke up at like 4 a.m. I'm like, that's me. It's not going to overflow. Let's just go home. So we walked home, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's like, do you remember in high school when you would do like those
fire
drills and stuff?
Specifically, we would do fire drills. I remember, I'm going to show my age here, but you probably experienced this too. When 9/11 happened, we had to do chemical warfare.
Really?
Drills at school. So we had to prepare for a biological attack.
What?
Yeah. You never had to do
No, I
those?
never had to do that.
Oh, man.
I was only doing fire drills.
Oh, man. So basically what they did is that we all had to congregate into our school gym. I was in junior high at the time, and we all had to congregate into our school gym, and they would seal all the doors, close all the windows, and then everyone had to take like a blanket and put it over themselves, because guess that protects against gas.
Somehow.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
But that's the best they could do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we would have fire drills, we would have earthquake drills, and we had chemical attack drills.
Okay.
For like that school year.
Wow.
Which was
I only had
interesting.
to do fire drills.
Yeah.
You know, when my mom was an elementary school kid in the 60s, you know, they did duck and cover from like nuclear bombs. Did you ever see that?
I've seen memes of it.
Oh yeah, but that was like a real thing. Like I remember, like I sung that song to my mom. She's like, "How'd you know that was a song?" I was like, "I watched that in a history class." She's like, "That was in your history class?" I feel old, you know.
So something that I had to do a couple times, and I think you as an American had to experience this. Did you have to do school shooter drills?
You know, I never had to do that either.
Oh, really? So we had to do school shooter drills. Often, like I want to say once every 2 months or something.
Oh wow, okay.
It was very frequent at school, especially when I was in junior high and high school.
Well, Columbine was where? Was that on the West Coast?
I think it was. I want to say it was in Virginia, but I might be. Maybe Columbine was in. Honestly, I don't remember.
I feel like California and like West Coast has a lot of that stuff.
It does. I mean, America has a lot of school shootings. Yeah. So like, I'm not going to beat around the bush, but we don't have to get into that.
That'll be for next time.
But Japan started doing that recently.
School shooters?
Not specifically for school shooters, but for
like knife attacks.
Yes, for people invading the school.
Okay.
So we have started doing drills for that. And all schools in Tokyo have started doing drills for that. Recently, like in the past like 2 or 3 years, there was a change, and we started doing drills for it. So now the teachers at schools have started. So if you ever go into a school teacher's office here in Japan, you'll notice there's this like really long pole that kind of looks like a fork at the end. And so basically,
is it like a pitchfork?
Kind of, yeah, but it's like 2 prongs.
Okay.
But it's actually a really cool device, and I forget if it was invented here in Japan or if it was in China, but it was one of the two. And basically, this is like meant for like incapacitating like a person attacking you.
Yeah.
And so if there's like an unruly student, or if a person trying to break into the school, like basically you take this pitchfork thing and you kind of like pin them against the wall.
Okay.
And they can't really do anything because you're like putting pressure into the wall. And the cool thing about it is like you don't even really have to be a strong person. You can like we had these like firefighters come in and like demonstrate that like even like an elderly teacher can like hold a strong person against the wall, because it's all about leverage.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
Right. And so it's really cool that like
I was just thinking I need one of those for my son.
Yeah, dude, just like hit him with, just like, all right, not to be calm down, change his clothes now. Like,
yeah, right.
But yeah, so like so we've started doing this training, and my main point for bringing this up though is like I just think it's really cool that Japan kind of gets made fun of by the rest of the world.
Like for
being too safe.
Yeah, right.
And we've talked about this on the channel before, of like, you know, how like, you know, we can be in frustrating experiences sometimes because of the safety precautions that people have here, or maybe they don't have a sense of danger, so it's like maybe they're just not aware of their surroundings as much as maybe an American or a person in Europe, right? But one of the cool things here is when stuff does happen, you don't have to worry about there not being a plan.
Yeah, there's always a plan.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's a plan for when things happen, and usually you will know where to go.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
That's
yeah,
really
there's always
cool.
a plan in place.
Like I know that I can move to a new place, and within the first day of me living there, I know exactly where to go during the tsunami.
Right. They tell you ahead of time. Yeah. Like when you move into a new house, they'll tell you where the hinanja, where the evacuation site is.
Yeah,
right?
And it's never a confusing route. It's super easy. There's signs up everywhere. You go outside, it'll be like, "Yep, go this way during the tsunami." Like, you know, and especially like when you're thinking about a family, it's like, you know, you're a father, I'm a new father. It's like I'm thinking about places where I want to raise my kids. Like this is a great place for that, because I know that during a disaster, like I know where I can take my family to be safe. And that's cool. I love that.
Yeah, and so even though there's a lot of national disasters and stuff here, like it still is really safe, you know? But yeah, I mean, so that's like one of the reasons why.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's funny because my mom, you know, she came and visited for the past few weeks, and she was like, this is a really good place to raise your kids. Like she says that, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
But I feel like we've gotten off of the topic of earthquakes a lot. We talked about a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
But I think this is a good place to cut it for today, and we'll talk next time.
Sounds good, man.
Sounds good. Thanks, man.
Yep.
Alright, thanks so much for watching. Part 1はこちらですね。今回気づいたことをぜひコメント欄でシェアしてね。よろしくお願いします。